Good evening, everybody. Mm, shit. All right, everybody. How are you doing tonight? I'm trying to get a little bit of technical difficulty worked out. Give me just a second. Okay. It looks like we're starting to go right. Oh. Mm, this is awesome. Oh. Oh. Well, welcome everybody to Whiskey Cars and Cigars, episode four. No, season four, episode 17. Welcome back. Between COVID, injury, heavy workloads, and Hurricane Ida, I am back tonight. And I've got a great, awesome, chillin' moose cigar that I'm going to be smoking during the show. And I bought a little that I'm going to be drinking with a little bit of Sprite tonight. Uh, kind of mellow out a little bit, but I already got it started. Mm, that's awesome. Let me get down here and scroll down and see where I'm at. I'm just trying to. There we go. Building. I got it. I got it going on. Trying to get you. I've been doing this show for 4 years. I'm trying to remember. Actually, 5 years. Actually, and now just trying to remember how to make all this shit work. I will be happy to tell everybody that this year has also sucked. Uh, I'm glad to be back, and I want to thank everyone for all of your calls, messages, and prayers. They helped a lot. Uh, we were without power and internet for about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the night of the storm, and to be honest with you, I'm not real sure how long we were without power. Weeks. How many days exactly? I'm not sure. Um, but I remember I remember that it was another situation that we made it through. I want to give a big shout out to all the stormtroopers is what I want to call them, but it's all the line crews that came in from across the country that were working in this area. They worked long hours uh, with just tons of constant bitching for people. Everybody wanting the power on. Everybody was complaining about everything power not being on. Those guys working as hard as they could, as fast as they could, and there were a ton of them around here. So I wanted to give them a big shout out for all the crews that were down here uh, working. I mean, it was quite huge number of crews. I hooked up with a crew that was here working, and they got our power turned back on. I think it was a Friday or a Saturday, um, and then let them send them home with a bottle of coconut, Johnny Blender's hard coconut. When they were done, and then they never wanted to leave. But it was cool. We got everything done, got everything back on. A few days later, we got internet back up. Um, so yeah, we just been dealing on. Let me check a few of these. Joe McKeel. Hey, Big Joe, how you doing? Let me. All right, Marie, my cousin. Hey, cuz, how are you doing? I'm trying to look at these notes. I've got different equipment tonight. I've just got an old laptop sitting out here that I used to use inside, so I'm working with it right now. And Facebook has changed. I'll have the StreamYard and everything back up probably next week. I just when I started setting everything up, I was having to remember how to set some of this stuff. Um, Gotcha. See, can you hear me, Joe? Mm. awesome cigar. Chillin' Moose. Hey, but I want to get back into what I had done for the past 5 years, and I want to give a big shout out. And uh, remember, we've got the Southern Outlaw Gassers. Jesse Holmes and the boys are getting ready to put on GBO 14 at Atmore, Alabama. Atmore Dragway, October 15th and 16th at Atmore, Alabama. It's a 2 days of gasser racing. Track hot will be noon. The track will be hot noon on Friday and Saturday. I'm trying to look at this little flyer that I'm printing up and looking at on my tablet, and it's a little bit hard, but we make do with what we got. We try to make it all work. Um, all right, there we go. I got it back. Sorry about that. The Southern Outlaw Gassers always have a really good family friendly event. You need to check them out. They're at Atmore, Alabama. This event is going to be at Atmore, Alabama. You can contact Jesse Holmes if you've got a car you'd like to race at it. Let's see. You can contact him at Jesse Holmes. His phone number is 850-206-3673 or jhss2289 at yahoo.com. You can check with Jesse. Each car must be pre-approved for entry. Contact Jesse Holmes for that approval and any questions you may have. Like I said, Atmore Dragway, Atmore, Alabama is a wonderful track. The Southern Outlaw Gassers and the entire bunch that race with them are really good people. Hey, my buddy Steve Godwin. Hey, buddy, how you doing, man? Good to see you checking in, man. It's been a while. But like I said, oh, Steve, stick around for a minute. Like I said, it's a good event. You need to come out and see it. It's family friendly. They do just a wonderful event. Uh, and GBO 14, Gas or Blowout 14, will be no different than all the other events they do. Now, we're doing some work on the dragster. I want to give a big shout out to Uzbasic Motorsports Performance Parts. Don't forget, you can sign up for their monthly newsletter with all their specials and deals on it, and prizes and chances to win things, and gift cards and all kind of stuff that they do every month. John Ubasic's a really good guy. Uh, you can check out, see all of their monthly specials. They have some really good stuff. Now, one of the things that we're working on the Fury Dragster right now is the MSD grid. We're putting a grid system in the dragster, and I'm excited about that. I had a few little hiccups. I'm having to do a lot of wiring, and I hate wiring. I'm terrible at it. So if anybody's in the area and you want to come help me wire some, just come on over anytime. I'm working on this stuff, and with doing that, I'm having to build some panels inside the dragster to mount all the grid and everything too. Uh, I got this cool little fuse panel in today that is going to help me make the wiring a little bit more simple. Pretty nice little box, screwed together. Got some fasteners in it. It's got, let's see, 12 circuits in it. It's 12 different fuses that go in it. A main power tie-in, bus ground bar tie-in. So I'm kind of excited. Oh, it even comes with stickers to tell you what stuff is. That's cool. Also, Hot Rod Fabrication over in Texas sent me this real cool shift light. So I'm looking forward to getting that installed, rebuilding the dash, or actually putting a dash inside the car. I haven't never had one before, so I was fabricating that today and trying to get that worked out. So got a lot of new things that we're doing with the car. Now, with me saying that, one of the reasons we're getting all these new things that we're doing to the car, let me put this back in the bag so I don't lose any of it, is we were, a couple of weeks, few weeks without internet. Um, and when I finally got internet back up, I go to log in. I log into Facebook, and I see a grudge match at All Out in Gulfport, Mississippi. All out, Pink's all out in Gulfport, Mississippi next week to me from Jimmy Turk. So called, talked to him, and yeah. So we're trying to get the grid and all the ignition system, coil, everything that we're putting in that. We're trying to get that all in and set up. Like I said, I'm having to put this dash in, and I've got to rebend a couple of panels on the body. I got room made for the fire system. Haven't got the fire system yet, but I've got room made for it. So we got, like I said, we've done some, and I've really been trying to get a lot of work since I logged on and saw that Jimmy Turk had called me out in a grudge match at Pink's or All Out. I called Brian Basson and talked to him for a little while, told him what was going on, and talked to him about it because Brian Basson is the guy who does that event. He's like, "Yeah, man, come on." So we're working. I'm working diligently trying to get all this stuff done in the car, and it's been bad for the last few days. The shop, and the reason I'm sitting all kind of hinky here tonight is because the shop here is full, everything. So I'm really limited on space, and I just turned the compressor off before the show started, so it didn't kick back on. Ton of work in the back of the shop, and then when I was walking across the yard coming to do the show tonight, we had an invasion of goats. I guess the neighbors' goats have gotten loose, so we had a whole bunch of goats in the backyard, and they were eating trees and grass. Which I got 5 acres. I need to bush hog, so if they want to go ahead and eat it all, I'm cool with that. Just keep going north, not coming south. Uh, so it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting place around here where I live. But I want to thank you, Basic Motorsports, for hooking me up with the MSD grid. Really, really cool. There's a lot of stuff in the dragster I'm gonna be able to pull out. Two-step. There's some cool features like the shift light that I'm adding. Um, I'm waiting on a shift solenoid to come in. So there's just a lot of stuff that I can do with this, and I think it's really going to help make the car more manageable. Some of the timing features that the grid offers of setting up timing with my blower car is a little hinky getting it started because the timing's set high on it. And usually I set it with lower timing, and then once the car cranks up, I'll spin it up, advance it. Um, but with the grid and from everything that I've read and what I'm looking at so far, the grid kind of takes care of that. I can put the a lower a retarded timing in it and kick it up after it starts spinning RPMs, and so hopefully it's going to be something that makes the car more manageable by myself, because everything I pretty much do is by myself. I sometimes have somebody come and help me, but it's pretty much always me or Lynn. She helps really well. So we're trying to get this grid. Check this out. I picked this up. Got this Ubasic Motorsports performance parts. Don't forget, when you go to Ubasic Motorsports and you look at all the great specials that they have monthly anyway, also you can use WCC for 5% off on your entire order. Uh, like I said, check them out. Ubasic is, Lynn should have the link up on the site. It's a pretty cool place. John Ubasic's a really, really good guy. Uh, so I'm getting a couple of errors up here. Let me see what the hell these are. Okay, yeah, yeah. Wiring is just awful. Thanks, Joe. Um, but yes, I have to do it. So yeah, it's cool. Split the little on my shirt. But yeah, John Ubasic, the owner of Ubasic Motorsports, got an awesome pro mod that he races. Um, And don't forget, you can catch the Ubasic Motorsports Performance Parts Rock Block daily on the Edge Radio US from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. For some really good rock and roll music, a little alt rock in there. It's good music. It's a combination of big bands that you've heard of and some bands you've never heard of. But some of the bands that you've never heard of, their music is better. So be sure and check that out. Don't forget, if you don't have the app, you can go to the Play Store and download it. The Edge Radio US. Carry it with you. Uh, play it on your computers if you're at work. Turn it up really loud because I have contacted everybody's boss and they've all said it was okay. So please play it loud and play it constant. Uh, okay, got that error taken care of. Let's see what else. All right, so here's a little bit on Gulfport Dragway. Pink's All Out, October 8th and 9th, 2021. Pink's All Out is back. I'm reading the flyer. I'm trying to read the flyer. It keeps moving around on me. Over $20,000 in cash and prizes, two Pink's All Out ET racing classes, the call out shootout, three heads up classes, open call outs, grudge matches, front of the Pink's cameras, party in the pits, live music, barbecue cook off, and burnout contest. For tickets, dates, and info, go to pinksallout.com. That's pinksallout.com. Check that out. That's going to be an awesome event. Hopefully, I can get everything put together on this freaking car and go down there and walk the dog on Jimmy Turk's ass. Uh, the Primal Scream altered. Hmm. But like I said, I spoke with Brian Basson, the operator of All Out, and he's been working really hard. Him and his crew do a really, really good job putting these shows together and these events. And this event is following Cruising the Coast, running in line with Cruising the Coast, which is an unbelievable, spectacular in itself. 26 miles of cars. It's just awesome. There's everything you could think of: trucks, cars, bikes, go karts. The only thing I've never seen there is lawnmowers, but hey, it may happen this year. You just never know. Uh, but you got to get down here, check this out. It's a great weekend on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. All the casinos, the beautiful white sand beaches, drag racing, everything you could possibly want is down here. Uh, so yeah, and I'll be floating around somewhere, and you never know what I might be walking around with. Oh man, that is awesome. Let me put a little more Sprite in this because I actually put a little bit too much of the other in it. Uh, all right, man, it feels kind of good to get back in on the show tonight. Um, All right, now I want to talk. Oh, my buddy Jerry Robb with Hot Rods House of Power has opened up, while we've been recovering from Ida, he has opened an incredible new shop in Joliet, Illinois. And the first few pics I have seen of it, it is incredible. I can't tell you. I didn't even get a good count of how many cars he had in the building. Absolutely unbelievable spot. Um, that's where Jake and Elwood are from. Joliet, if I remember correctly, the Blues Brothers. Um, so if check it out, go to hotrodsHouseofPower.com. He's got a trading page, Hot Rods House of Power trading page. You can check that out. Check it out. Look at the work they do. They do unbelievable work, and they ship cars. They build and ship cars all over the world. Jerry Robb with Hot Rods House of Power and his crew of professionals that he has working for him do unbelievable work. And you've seen Jerry Robb and Dave Buchanan, some of those other guys on Memphis Outlaws, Memphis Street Outlaws. So they're a good bunch of guys. I really like them. They've hung with us through thick and thin. I really appreciate everything they've done for them, and I want you to check them out. Be sure and go to their Hot Rods House of Power page, like it, share it. Uh, it it's more racers helping racers. I got one um, error that keeps popping up, and I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it before, so I don't know how to treat it. So I hope everything is broadcasting all right. Let me hit my cigar real quick again. Give me just a timeout for a minute if you don't mind. I wasn't talking enough and it went out, or I was talking too much and it went out. Mm. This Chillin' Moose is a really good cigar. I got this in a Pick 5 special that Mike Cigar was having. They had, no, I take that back, it was a Pick 7. They had 7 cigars for $20, $25, 20. No, it was $20. I think it was 19.99, and free shipping. So it's a really really good cigar. It came with some other cigars that I really liked. It came with some of the White Band Monte Cristos that were really good. It came with one of the Madura Cohibas. Uh, it came with Macanudos. It came with a cane. It was a really really good cigar collection at a very very affordable price. Most of these cigars are anywhere from $6 to $9 a stick, and they had this special for 19.99. So Mike Cigars is a good place. I'm working on trying to get a cigar code or a code, whiskey cars and cigars code with them. So give me a couple more weeks to try to get that worked out. I want to try to get something put together before the holidays to help people who watch the show uh, save a little bit of money, and Mike Cigars be able to keep helping the show and letting us promote their products for them. So I'm really happy about that. And don't forget, when you're on the Gulf Coast, if you go to Pink's All Out or you come to Cruising the Coast and you're a cigar smoker, in Biloxi is a place called Biloxi's Cigar Shop Biloxi. Unbelievable place. Very, very helpful staff. They have a incredible selection of cigars there. Patio, those nice big leather chairs that people love to sit in. It is a great place to go. Uh, cigar shop of Biloxi. You've got to check it out. I think it's Pass Road that it's on. Please get out there, check that out. Tell them that you heard it here on Whiskey Cars and Cigars and Johnny Blender, because I love those guys there. I've been in there a couple of different times and they have treated me like I was a king. And the cool thing about it was they were treating everybody else the same way, but I just wanted, I like talking about they treated me like a king, but they were treating everybody like that. I was just one of the fortunate bodies that was in there. But like I said, their humidor is outstanding. Their staff cigar knowledge is, what's the word I'm looking for? Lynn, you want to help me out with a word for this? Outstanding. We'll use that one. So check it out. That's a cigar shop, Biloxi, cigar shop in Biloxi. I'll get a link up for them later on in the show or later on after the show. It's a great place, so be sure to tell them I sent you. Go in there and check them out. Paul was the owner, great guy. But let's see. All right, so I got that covered. Talking about cigar shop, love that place. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Everybody knows my buddy Randy Gordon with Matco Tools. In fact, I'm drinking out of my Matco Tool glass tonight. Hold on just a second. Hold that thought. I had somebody comment on the show one time and they said, you just sit on the show and get drunk and smoke cigars. And I was like, and your point being, I really don't do that, but I do smoke cigars. Um, but yeah, Randy Gordon. Everybody remember that LED light that I got from him a couple of months ago and had on here? It was awesome during the hurricane. Now, I'm going to light that cigar again. Randy dropped me off another light today. This is a really cool light. It's got multiple lights on it. It's got one on it's got it's got a light on the end of it, cell phone size. Um, Very powerful light on the front of it. It's got this magnetic base that you can. It attaches to the back of the light, and you can move it in any position that you want it, and you can hang it on. That's not metal, but let's see. Can you see that? It's a little too thin part there. That's my cigar light. Uh, let's see. Hey, mount on that. You got that? I mounted it right there. So mounts on anything. Nice magnetic base that makes it all swivel where you can move it all around. It charges on an USB port. Like I said, it's the size of a cell phone, but it is 425 lumens on the main bulb, 100 lumens on the little bulb. USB charging port, five 50,000 hours at 120 degrees, 6,000 K LED for multi-year use. Sleek anodized screen. It's got a really good bump case. I wish my cell phone had this bump case on it. You can't break this thing if you drop this. Pretty little thing. Base. Let's see. It's fully CNC machine, sleek anodized and screen printed finish. Dimming feature for both front and top light. Protective case included. Lithium ion battery. Weighs a pound, maybe. They say a pound. That may be with the mount. That may be a pound with the mount. Runtime on high with the big light on is 2.5 hours. Runtime low with the small light on is 5 hours. Really cool, and I got to tell you, product length is 6 inches. It's the size of a cell phone. So yeah, that's the info on this little light. Check that out. You can check out Randy Gordon, Matco Tools, Hammerhead Products LLC at mail.com is his email address. Email him. That's Hammerhead Products LLC at mail.com. It's got a little screen protected film over the lens for the main light. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's a cool little light. I just stick it back here on the Route 66 sign and let it hang for the rest of the show. And that's very thin metal. So I mean, that's it's hanging. It's hanging in there pretty good. But it's a great product. Check out Matco Tools if you don't have a Matco guy in your area. I was fortunate enough today to meet somebody who may be coming in a new Matco man for the Mississippi Gulf Coast area. So we'll find out more on what Russell was his name. We'll find out more about that. Uh, it'll be kind of cool. We're going to talk about the storm in just a minute, but I got to add me another little, put me a little something else in that and relight this real quick. Mm. All right. This area down here where we are was decimated. It was tore the hell up. My sister, who has lived in her house for 20 something years, had, after the storm, had to buy another house because of the trees and the damage that was done to her house where my 92-year-old mother lives. Um, so uh, as I got out and drove around a little bit and I saw how bad the damage was, when I saw how bad the damage was 2 doors down from my house, I was amazed. Across the street, all the beautiful wooded land that we have around our property is maybe a third of the trees that were there. Or, well, out of all the trees that were there, about a third of them have survived. So trees were down everywhere. Trees were down on everybody's everything around us. Uh, we were very fortunate in the damage that we had. Hold on, I got another message popped up here. Let me see this real quick. I'm trying to stay on top of these messages. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Uh, Bear with me just a second. So, all right, I'm back. So it was really, really. We had just. Before I talk about that, let me follow up something real quick. I stumbled across a speed shop owned by Terry Jordan. called SS Motorsports Incorporated, located at 5675 Highway 90 in Theodore, Alabama. You can find them on Facebook, or you can call them at 251-653-9069. Uh, Terry was able to hook me up with a part that I needed for the grid ignition system. I needed another coil. The coil I have wasn't doing the job or won't work right with this grid system, and he was really good, really cool to deal with, real knowledgeable guy, and he had extra parts. So he was able to he shipped it to me today. It's a HVC2 coil, MSD coil. He shipped it to me today, and it was funny, like 15, 20 minutes after he said he was going to get it in the mail today, verified my address. Then he sent me a tracking UPS tracking thing for it, where he already had it in the box ready to go, label printed up, everything. So I really appreciate that. If you live on the Gulf Coast, you need some hot rod parts, you need some race car parts, go check out my buddy Terry Jordan at S&S Motorsports Incorporated in Theodore, Alabama. Like I said again, his number is 251 653 9069. He was very, very helpful, very, very knowledgeable. Terry, if you see this or if you're watching, I want to thank you for helping me out. Uh, yeah, and it's a great place for all the people on the Gulf Coast to go check out. Hopefully, when I go over to some of these other places, Pensacola, Atmore, and this will be a place that I can stop by and have a press to flesh, face to face with him and talk to him. Maybe take a little of this concoction I'm drinking over there to introduce him to. Oh man, ah, that's just really really good. I'm gonna really really have to pace myself. Mm, good cigar. All right, I'm trying to find another spot in my notes that I hit. This little other screen here is very very little. Uh, and I think I have lost something. I'm sorry, man. Bear with me. Like I said, I'm getting back on the train tonight. Uh, well, all right. I think I kind of blew my spot where I was. So, oh, here we go. Uh, all right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the storm because I've had a ton of questions for that. So I don't want to take away from. I want to make sure that all who follow the show and listen to the show know about the great companies that work with us and work with the show, and really thank them for sticking by us through all these weird last couple of years. Um, and we will continue to help promote them and work with them and find the best customer deals that we can to help our listeners and everybody who watches and follows the show save a few bucks. 5% is 5%. If you get 5% in free shipping, or 5% off and free shipping over $50, I mean, it's 5%. It's a little money on something else that you need. So save that up a couple times. Hey, that third part that you need, you got it. As far as the shop, I've had a lot of people ask me about the shop, and I had Pete Barry Nicholson, the Godfather, bless his heart, called me the day after the storm. Hey man, when can I drop off these wheels for you to powder coat? And I said, Barry, I don't have any power. He goes, we don't either. And I was like, okay, I'll call you when I do. So as far as the house, we had a little roof damage. It wasn't bad. The ant damage that came after the little roof damage is what was more of a pain in the ass than anything. So Lynn got that taken care of. As far as the shop, we had a little bit of damage. I had to rewire the main service panel on the building. I had to put a new one in that, which meant rewiring everything, the compressors, the air conditioner, the big stuff in the building. We had to go back and redo the back part for both the ovens. We had a little bit of damage to the big oven, but I think I've got most of that taken care of. I am going to have to put a new controller on the small oven, which I have it sitting on the small oven right now to put it on. I'm going to do that first thing in the morning. We've had a ton of rain. Um, we did the Matco lights came in real handy when we were going out at night to put fuel in the generators. That you know that took care of us really well. It was really really bright. We did since we didn't have a lot of power. It stayed charged pretty much the whole time. I think I charged it once in the entire time we were out of power, but it always worked. So it's the lithium ion batteries that Matco uses in their products are really, really good and really strong and have a long durability time. So we've got the shop powered back up. Now, when I was wiring it up, we put a backup generator on it. We've got that hardwired into the building. So the backup generator will run everything in the building. Not at the same time, but welding machines, ovens, compressor, it'll run everything. So we've got that'll be one less thing we have to worry about if unless the building is gone. But 5 hours at 100-mile-an-hour winds, and everything's still pretty limbs down and stuff like that, which Lynn did an amazing job cleaning the yard and getting all that stuff taken care of. She is bulletproof. Um, but yeah, so we've got a backup power supply now for the house as well. So the house and the shop both can stand alone and operate. The only thing that we don't have in on the big house is the generator system that we've got for the big house won't drive the 5 ton AC unit that we have. But that's all right. That's cool. We've got a couple of we've got a windy unit and a buddy of mine, Trey Cavaretta. By the way, thanks Trey for letting us use that little windy unit that you had. We got that on the first day, and Trey let us borrow that because we were sweating our butt off at night because it was really hot. Um, but then the day after Trey let us use his air conditioner, we got it in and started using it. One Lynn had ordered before the storm came in. The next, so we had two air conditioners. We were running them off the same generator. And by the way, I want to tell you something. A while back, everybody remember I used to talk about this stuff we had called Prolube. It was a friction reducing compound you add to oil. Prolube, I was running the generator 50 hours, constant 50-hour running, or 50 hours of running time. I let it cool off when it ran out of fuel, so it'd cool back down, and I'd add fuel to it without starting a fire. Um, but I changed the oil after 50 hours. Every 50 hours it ran, I changed the oil. We were getting 5 gallons of fuel was lasting 10 hours. So we were happy with that. So the I came out to get oil out of the shop to put in the generator, and I saw a half a bottle of Prolube that I had left over that I had been using on the dragster. I used it in the blower. I used the blower, the engine in the dragster. I use it in with the rear end. I use it in the transmission. It's a great friction reducing material that is unbelievable. Andrew Wireman, his grandpa at Prolube, it's an awesome product. So I found that Prolube and I said, you know what? Since the generator's running so much, I'm gonna put Prolube in with the generator. And the funny thing about this, I put two things. I'll tell you. Let me finish the first part. Um, so I mixed my Prolube, 1 ounce Prolube, 1 quart oil. I mixed that in, put it in the generator when I changed the oil, topped it off with fuel, cranked it up, let it run. Same. I'm using the exact same fuel jugs. I've got 5 Racers Direct 5 gallon fuel jugs are all identically the same, other than the color being different, but the volume that they hold is exactly the same. So when I'm changing fuel out, we uh, we went from running the regular 1030 oil to 1030 oil with Prolube in it. Same 5 gallons of gas. The only other thing, the first couple of gallons of gas, the first couple of 5 gallon containers I had were ethanol based fuel. Now, by the third and fourth and fifth and so on containers, I was back. I had my fuel tank here at the shop. My 500 gallon, 400 gallon fuel tank was full, so we had 91 octane conventional fuel in that we were running in it. So we were cranking the generator up, and we knew it kicked off around 4 o'clock in the morning when it was running from when we turned it off before we went to bed. It usually kicked off around 4 o'clock in the morning. Uh, well, we overslept, and we slept till like 6:30, quarter to seven that morning. We woke up, it was still running. So we're like, huh, okay, it's still running. So then Lynn went in and fixed us both coffee, and we drank our coffee. Each had a couple cups of coffee. We drank our coffee, talked, just things like that. And it's 8 o'clock. So we're like, I don't know what's wrong with the generator. It's still running. And Lynn goes, yeah, you didn't go back out there in the middle of the night? I said, no, I didn't go back out. I said, it's been running all night. So about 8:30, it started and died. So filled it back up again, cranked it back up after it cooled down, cranked it back up, let it run, ran another 14 hours before it died. After this, we noticed a pattern. I said, well, it's kind of cool. I said, if we knock it off at like 3 in the afternoon, let it cool down, let the generator cool down good, crank it at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, it'll run all the way till about 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning. That way we can get all of our morning stuff done and not have to worry about getting in and out, leave the refrigerators, freezers, everything was fine. The only thing that I can contribute the generator picking up 4 hours of more running time on the same 5 gallons of gas is a combination of either the ProLube reducing friction enough where the motor spun that much easier and was able, or a combination of the ProLube and the conventional gas. But cleaned up, ran great, 14 hours on 5 gallons. Nobody has believed me that I've told this. I was telling Jerry Robb this when I first was able to get back on the cell phone with him. I was telling him about it, and he started laughing. I said, "What you laughing at?" He goes, "You're in the middle of a disaster. You have no services other than what you've got with your cell phone and your internet or your generator power and stuff like this, and you're promoting a product." And I started laughing. I said, "Well, man, the stuff worked really good." And I kept talking about it. He goes, "John, you're still promoting ProLube." So when I use a product and I like how it works and I see the actual results of it, I got to talk about it. I got to talk about it. So ProLube. I called Andrew Wireman and I told him, I said, "Dude, I don't know if I know y'all did all kind of testing on ProLube when y'all were developing it." I said, "But man, let me tell you what this stuff does in a generator." And he goes, "Well, this may be something that we have to rethink as far as how this stuff, we had never, they had never used it on a small engine like that as far as durability or longevity or the amount of time that was running or anything like that. 50 hours, I changed the oil, another quart, 1 ounce of Pro Lube in it. I did that every 50 hours of running time for the entire, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks of being without 17, 18 days without power. Generator is just as healthy as it could be. I drained the oil out of it, changed it, filled it back up, got it ready to put on the shelf for the next time we need it. And I got to tell you, the only thing I can contribute that extra 4 hours of runtime to is conventional fuel and ProLube. And I said conventional fuel first, but ProLube first, conventional fuel also. So check it out, ProLube. We'll get something up where you can find out about that. Hopefully, I will be the national dealer for ProLube because I love this stuff, and I can tell from experience under hard conditions. And this generator is running 14 hours straight, not turned off, running. And so this stuff works great. The oil, I've saved some samples of the oil that I've pulled out of the generator after 50 hours, and I want to get that checked to see what the oil looks like when they look at it under a refractometer or whatever the hell it's called. Spectrum out. I don't know. But I want to get that check and see what the properties of the oil are now. I got so excited about that. I need to do two things really quick. First, I needed another little snort of that. Second, I need to light this damn cigar again. Oh, there we go. I see my Aunt Wanda Herring has tuned in. Thank you, Aunt Wanda, for watching. Mm, mm. It'll take forever to smoke this cigar during this show. Uh, we have done, we've done so much. We've had so many disasters hit us where we are between floods, snowstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes. It doesn't matter. Uh, it doesn't matter where. I told Lynn, I said, let's move where something doesn't happen. We started looking on the internet. Shit happens everywhere. So there isn't anywhere. So I guess we can stay where we're at. Funny thing, we've done so much to get prepared over the years for events. Every time we have some kind of disaster, we learn from it and we learn something else to do. It actually, I'd kind of like to write a book or have Lynn write a book about it because, I mean, the things that we've done. Here's an example. We've got a 500-gallon propane tank. We got a 400-gallon fuel tank. We've got a 300-gallon diesel tank. We've got multiple Sunoco racing fuels in the shop as well as methanol. So we got a ton of fuel. And, people were waiting in long lines for hours and hours and hours to get fuel to run their generators for all these days, all these weeks. And, I just walked across the yard. We had the stuff in. And then when tanks got low, I called and pump truck came out and filled tanks up. So that's one of the things that we've learned. The generator situation on the house. We did some hard wiring in the house. We've got one circuit, a 30 amp cutoff in the house that we turn off normally, and we've got this real cool LED light uh, outlet on the weatherproof outlet on the outside of the house. 30 amp. We use 30 amp extension cord off the generator. Just try to stay away from those 120 extension cords on a generator if you're using one. Some occasions are, but just use the 30 amp. Use the big cord. It's easier on the generator. It burns a lot less power. Uh, but we had this. We hooked it up. Everything was locked in. It was tight. It started raining real bad one day when the generator's running. Gas tanks on the top of it, so it protected the engine and the generator. Everything worked fine. Like I said, the only time we turned it off is when it died from running out of gas, and then we would let it cool down. Because the worst thing, and one of the things that happens if you got a hot generator and you try to pour gas in, you splash a little bit, and that exhaust is hot, boom, you turn a real good intention into a real bad disaster. So that's some of the stuff that we've lost. Fortunately, that hasn't happened to us, but it's one of the things that we've figured out. Um, I do want to say one thing. Lynn is truly the strongest person I know. The things she can do are amazing. At times when my spirit was just low, she's out cutting down trees, running wire, servicing the generator, trying to cook, tending to her wine that she's making, and the list goes on and on. Um, one of the things we have ahead of on us right now is our fuel tanks. We like that. My dream has always had my own gas station. I had one a long time ago, worked at, managed, whatever you want to call it. Uh, but always wanted to have my. So we basically got one here. We've got the cool fuel pumps outside for pumping the gas, and so it's kind of cool. But everybody was waiting in long lines for hours and hours, and it just a little bit of preparedness goes a long way. And we tried to help people by letting them, telling a few people, hey, if you need gas, come over here and get it. We've got it. I'll sell it to you at what I paid for it, but we've got gas. Um, and it's 91 octane conventional. Let's see. We did get MREs. I love MREs. So we got a few boxes of those. So I was eating good. I was eating how in the hog. And then we had propane in the barbecue grill, so we had steaks in the refrigerator. So we ate steaks and burgers and I mean, yes, as bad as it was, we had prepared everything, every aspect of our life. We've prepared for it pretty much. So we had food. We had everybody was running out of everything. Our freezers, our refrigerators were everything was going. It's all in about how you prepare. Anybody can talk about doing it, but it doesn't take a whole lot to actually do it. And fortunate for us, we've done it. I want to give a big shout out to my guys at Ballard Petroleum. Ballard Petroleum is a great place. They're the one who kept our fuel tanks full. Um, uh, Love those guys. Jimmy Ballard is the man, and Gordon that works for him is awesome, and Rocky Roo, he is he can't ride at Six Flags, but the guy is incredible. Is really helpful. Um, I mean, I have to keep looking back at my notes because I had really had a lot of stuff. Hair and Gas, another company out of Franklin, Louisiana. Yeah, they're the company that keeps our propane tank full for the powder coating ovens and everything. They're very helpful. I mean, we were just very fortunate. I was broadcasting on the Edge Radio US live, doing weather updates, uh, 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 area updates, things that were going on in the parish and things like that when the power went out. I wanted to stay with it as long as I could. If that happens with the generator backups that we have, as long as we've got some kind of if we've got internet or even if we've got cell phone, I can still go live and do that. That'll still work. Got my daughters chiming in. Hey baby, how are you doing? Hey, you said that tooth Damon lost Piper didn't knock that out. I kind of like that. Tell Damon to say that Piper knocked it out. That's actually kind of a cooler story than wiggled loose and fell out. But once again, uh, my wife is incredible. She just we had 5 hours of 100-mile-an-hour winds, and let me tell you, I prayed hard. We were listening to trees snap. We didn't know if the house was coming apart. We didn't know what was going on. The noises that we heard all around this house in the dark were incredible. We had some candles burning. Were incredible. Uh, it looked like a tornado headed straight for the house, jumped the house from the property across the street, jumped the house, landed on the property next door to us, and made another line of trees sheared off at 12 feet, 10 to 12 feet high for a distance. Um, so I mean, I think I used up all my prayers for a lifetime. I figure if you're allotted so many prayers during your lifetime, I'm pretty sure that wherever I was prior to Hurricane Ida, I am way past uh, that quota. So I got to figure out a way to get my prayers recharged because I think I'm out. Um, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and remember you can watch the playback here on Facebook. I'll have the StreamYard and the YouTube feeds up next week. I just didn't feel like doing them, getting them all set up. It takes a little while to set that up. I just didn't feel like doing it tonight. But I really wanted to be on tonight and thank everyone and thank God for all that He's done in our life and everyone who had called and checked on us and friends like that. Friends and family. You just can't beat that. And a lot of the people, it's kind of funny. A lot of the people know me from the show. I've never physically met them, uh, but two, three, four messages or calls or something a day. Hey man, do you need anything? My friends over on the coast. Hey man, you need generators. We'll bring you generators. Hey man, you need fuel. We'll bring you fuel. Hey man, you need food? It was unbelievable. It just the that's and I'm not gonna go political here, but that's kind of the difference between the two political parties. One party believes kind of that you just need to give everybody anything that they have. the other party kind of believes that people work together and help each other, and you know, that may be kind of a bad analogy, but it's just the way I look at things. I mean, you know, like I said, I've had people I've never met before. I've only commented on things they've posted on the show or messages they've sent me. Man, what do you need? You need water, you need gas, you need food, you need generators. What do you need? We're there. It's amazing. It's amazing, and I want to thank everybody. Uh, all right, so I'm gonna get out of here. I got a little bit more of this to drink. At the rate I've smoked a half inch off this cigar. It'll probably be done about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So I want to I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to check out all the sponsors who and help support them. The people who help support the people who help support all we do. I mean, the sponsors are a big part of the show and how we keep the show going. And please check them out. Lynn's got their links up on the page. Next week, we'll be talking with some new companies that are coming board and some old companies that are coming back. So tune in next week. And without any disasters, I will be here. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for uh, checking in. And Joe McKeel, I'll get with you tomorrow. Brittany, love you and the kids. And tell Chris I said hello. Uh, Thank you, everybody. God bless everybody. And see you next week. This is Johnny Blender, and I'm out of here.